大家好! Welcome back to Edupedia World Videos. We are now at lesson 28.1, which will continue on what we have left off in the previous lesson. If you can remember, it was about visiting a friend in a hospital. Okay, as you may have recalled using the pictures that I put there. Remember, George visited Helen in a hospital and was asking a few questions, and now we're going to continue on their dialogue and learn more about what they're talking about. Okay, so the lesson outline, again, it's going to be very straightforward. It's going to be something in a hospital where we'll ask more questions to a patient and also advising someone to do something. Okay, as you may have imagined that you want to advise people to take care of themselves so this is what you're going to learn in this lesson. Alright, so let's get started. So again, it's the same title, a dialogue between George and Helen at the hospital. 乔治和海伦在医院的对话. So remember last time? So George visited Helen and asked her how she feels, like is she feeling better? And Helen answers, yes, she is, and thank you for the gifts and for coming to visit her, as George brought fruits for her. And now George gonna ask more questions, and he asks, how do you feel now? 乔治问，你现在感觉怎么样? And Helen answers, I want to leave hospital now. 海伦说，我想出院了。Okay, so George begins to advise her. He says, don't be so impatient. You should take a good rest and nourishment. I hope you'll get well soon. 乔治说，别着急，好好养病，注意营养，祝你早日康复。And Helen, of course, answers, thank you. 海伦说，谢谢。Okay, that's the end of the dialogue, and there are quite a lot of things going on here. So let's look at them one by one and learn the new words and the new grammar structure. So George asks Helen again, how do you feel now? Okay, the first question that he asked in the last lesson is, are you feeling better now? And now he's asking, how do you feel now? So in Mandarin, he says, 你现在感觉怎么样? Okay, so this is for him to ask how he feels now instead of asking how she's coping with her illness. Okay, so there's one new word here. The word is 感. Okay, 感 means to sense, to feel. Okay, so like how you feel, sense with your touch, your sight and olfactory, and also sound. We all use this word 感. Okay, so it refers to the 5 senses that we have. Okay, so this is the pinyin 感, and the radical is this one, what's at the bottom there. So remember, this radical means heart. As you can imagine, when you're feeling something, when sensing something, you're using the heart to feel something, right? So that's why we have the radical here. The arrangement is vertical. As you can see, there's top and bottom components here. So let's look at how to write 感. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13 strokes for this word, 感. Okay, so to say 感觉 is to say feel, okay, the feelings that we have right now. Okay, so the whole sentence, 你现在感觉怎么样? In direct translation, it's you now feel how. Okay, It looks a bit funny, but as I decipher it for you, you understand why. Okay? So 感觉 is the verb there, and then 怎么样 is to ask how. You feel like how. Okay? So when you're answering the question, you will say, I feel good. So you just substitute the good with the question word that you have, which is how. So you say, 你感觉怎么样 is to say, you feel how. Okay? And you can answer, you feel good. 我感觉很好. Okay? I'm feeling very good. Okay? So we have already covered this quite a few times already. You should be very familiar with it because this is how we Chinese construct question. Okay, I've already reminded you many times that you just substitute the answer with the question word that you have. Okay, and now is 现在 and it's a description of time, so that's why it is placed in front of the verb 感觉. Okay, so in the end, the sentence is 你现在感觉怎么样? You now feel how? And then in proper English, you say, how do you feel now? Okay, so this should be very straightforward, alright? So let's see how Helen answers. She says, I want to leave hospital now. So this is what she's feeling now. In Mandarin, she said, 我想出院了. Okay, so there's no new word here, just new usage of the words that we have learned. So I'll just decipher it very quickly. 我想出院了 should be very straightforward. It's like I think or I want. 出 is to, 出 means out. Okay, 院 it refers to 医院. Okay, you have learned that 医院 is hospital, but when you say 院 in this context, it is understood as hospital. So 出院 is like out hospital. In other words, it means leave hospital. Okay, 了 is already, or you can say you're feeling doing something right now. So 我想出院了 it means I want leave hospital already. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, but it may be the first time that you see 出院. So now you know 出院 means to leave hospital. Alright, so let's see what George has to say. So George started to advise Helen. So he says, don't be so impatient. You should take good rest and nourishment. Okay, in Mandarin, he says, 别着急，好好养病，注意营养. Okay, so there are two new words here. Let's look at what they are. So the first word is 养. 养 is to raise or to maintain or to cultivate. Okay, so you can imagine that it's like raising a child, or as you may have imagined when you are raising a child that you are cultivating a person. So raise and cultivate, it means almost the same, and maintain is to say like maintain good health. Okay, so this is the usage of the words here. So in a minute or two, I'll explain why I'm using this word here. And of course, it has other meanings, but for now, I'll just leave this here so you understand why I'm using this word in this context. Okay, this is the pinyin 养, and the radical is this one. What's on top there? The arrangement is vertical because you have top components as the radical and the bottom components here. Let's look at how to write 养. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 strokes for this word, 养. The next word is 赢. 赢 means camp or manage, and other meanings as well. But in this context, we are referring to manage. And I'll explain in a second again, like why I'm using this here. This is the pinyin, yin, and the radical is this one, what's on top there. So the arrangement is naturally, again, vertical, because you have top and bottom components here. Let's look at how to write yin. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11. Okay, 11 strokes for this word, yin. Okay, so here are all the new words that you need to learn. And now I'm just going to explain the whole sentence. So, 别着急. You should be very familiar with this by now, because in the previous lesson I have also taught this 别着急. It means like don't worry, or in this context it can be don't be so impatient. Okay, 着急 it means like getting anxious or getting worried, and in this context Helen was like can't wait to get out. So yeah, so George is asking Helen don't be so impatient. So 别 is don't, and then 着急 means worry, anxious, or impatient. So 急, as you have learned, it is urgent. So 着急 is like becoming like urgent. So in another words, it's being worried or anxious, being nervous, okay, or being like doing things right now because it's urgent. So 别着急, it just means don't be impatient. Okay, so 好好养病. So 养病, you have learned that 养 is like to raise, cultivate. 病 is to means illness or sickness. So 养病 is like raise or cultivate this illness, but we actually means like you rest well, like you maintain yourself well, you take care, like you raise your body well to fight the illness. Okay, you maintain your body well to fight against the illness. Okay, so that's what we mean by 养病. Okay, 好好养病. So 好好 is to ask someone to do something nicely, like to focus on the task that you are talking about. So 好好养病 is just to ask somebody to take good care on the body, okay, maintain good health to fight against the illness, okay. And another usage of 好好 can be like 好好读书. You are asking someone to like study well, okay. You just focus on your study and do it well, okay. So in this context, you're asking someone to maintain good health and focus on it, do it well, okay. And the last one, 注意营养. 注意, as you have learned before, it means to take notice of, okay, you pay attention to, okay. And 营养, it means nutrition, okay. So 营 it means like manage. So you can imagine that nutrition gives you the energy to maintain yourself, to manage your health. So 营养, it means like the nutrition, okay, the things that can help you to maintain and also manage your bodies. So they are the nutrition, 营养. Okay, so that's a way to explain like why we are using these two words as nutrition, as yin is like to manage, and then yang is to maintain or cultivate. Okay, because nutrition they really have this function to our bodies. Okay, so to say 注意营养, it means to pay attention to the nutrition. Okay, so 好好养病, 注意营养, it's like to say just focus on maintaining good health to fight against the illness, do it well, and also pay attention to your nutrition. Okay, in another words in English, it's you should take a good rest and nourishment, because nourishment is interchangeable. All right, so it should make sense now, like why I'm using these. So this is the way to give an advice. Okay, you can use how something. It is to ask some person to focus on doing something and do it well. Okay, it can be 好好读书 or 好好养病. So George has a final wish for Helen. He says, he continued his sentence and said, I hope you will get well soon. Okay, this is quite a common word to use as you are wishing somebody to recover soon. So in Mandarin, it is 祝你早日康复. Okay, so there are a few new words here, so let's look at them. The first one is 祝. Okay, 祝 is to wish or to hope. So whenever you want to wish someone happy birthday, we use this word as well. Okay, and the season greetings, we like say wish someone to have a good day, or to say Merry Christmas and all that. We use this word as well, 祝. Okay, it has some other meanings, but it's not very important in this context, so we'll just leave it. And this is the pinyin 祝, and the radical is this one, what's on the left there. The arrangement is horizontal because you have left and right components here. Let's look at how to write 祝. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so 9 strokes for this word, 祝. The next set of new words is 康. Kang means healthy or peaceful, and other meanings as well, but it's not so important again, so I'll leave it there. The pinyin is this one, Kang, and the radical is this one, what's on the top left corner here. So the arrangement is naturally, again, enclosure, because the radical is wrapping what's over here, the bottom right corner here. So let's look at how to write 康. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, 11 strokes for this word, 康. The next word is 复. 复 is to reply, or sometimes it means complex or repeat and other meanings, but I'll explain to you in a minute or two why I'm using this here. But for now, just bear with me with this new word here. This is the pinyin 复, and the radical is this one, what's at the bottom there. So the arrangement is vertical because you have top, middle, bottom components here. So let's look at how to write 复. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 strokes for this word, 复. Okay, so now you have learned all new words in this sentence. Let's decipher it. Let's decipher the whole sentence. So 祝你早日康复. 祝, as I have told you, it means to wish or hope someone, so it shouldn't be any problem why I'm using this word here. And then 你, you, okay. 早, previously you learned it as in morning, but it can also mean early, okay. And 日 is day, so 早日 is to indicate like early days. So you are wishing someone to have an early recovery, okay. Like you hope someone to get well in early days, all right, in earlier days, okay, that one day, and hopefully it's gonna be earlier that you get well, okay. 康复, okay, 康 it means healthy, and 复 is to repeat or return, okay. In other words, you are wishing someone to return to be healthy again, return to the state of healthiness again. So in other words, 康复, it is to wish someone to recover, okay. And if you really wanna break it down, it's like to return to the state of health again, okay. So 早日康复, it just means recover soon, recover earlier, okay. So the whole sentence 祝你早日康复 is to mean wish you recover soon, or in other words, you can say I hope you will get well soon, okay. So the whole sentence 祝你早日康复 is a very useful sentence because you can always speak to someone about that. You can always say this to anyone who is sick and you wish them to get well soon, okay. So this is the way to use this word, okay. This is the way to make good wishes like this in Mandarin, alright. So finally, as you have expected, you always thank someone for such good wishes. So what Helen said was just thank you, Mandarin 谢谢, okay. Really simple, okay. So these are all the new words that you have learned today. So you have learned words such as sense or feeling, like how, like you know how to ask how do you feel now, okay, other than asking how are you coping with your illness, or asking are you feeling better now, you can ask like how do you feel now. And of course you can also give advice already, like asking someone to take good care of themselves and pay attention to their nutrition and nourishment, so you know how to say nutrition or nourishment, okay, and how to ask someone to take a good rest, okay. And finally, a very important one, how to wish someone to recover soon or to get well soon. So you have learned all these, okay. So you have learned recover, wish, and hope, and also healthy and returning to the state of healthiness, okay. So you have learned quite a lot of usage in Chinese, which are pretty common and also useful when you have a sick friend. Hopefully you don't, but in life there's such thing as sick or illness, okay. So I hope you find this lesson series useful. So thanks for watching this video, and next up I'm gonna tell you how to invite a friend to your house, okay. So as you are making friends, I think it is quite common that you will want to invite a friend to your house to have a dinner and to set up time for it. So in the next lesson, we're gonna cover that. Okay, so let's get excited for the next lesson, and I will see you then. 谢谢，再见。